Today we're going to talk about passwords and managing passwords on a Mac. And then we're going to have a separate video that shows you how to access those same keychain passwords on an iPhone or an iPad. On a Mac, it's pretty straightforward. You'll need to go into the Safari app because remember that everything to do with keychain is only going to work if you have Safari and you're using Safari. So if you are saving passwords in Google Chrome, Firefox, or on a PC in Internet Explorer, none of what we're talking about today is going to be available there. So to access my keychain on a Mac, I'm first going to open Safari, and in the top left of the screen under the Safari menu, I'll click on that and then select Preferences. When the Preferences window shows up, I'm then going to be presented with a whole bunch of icons at the top of this display. General, Tabs, Autofill. Now, you are going to want to make sure that all of these guys are checked as well so that you can make sure that Safari is listening and ready to insert passwords for you whenever you're on a web page. It's going to save three things: the website that you're on, the username that you use, and the password that you use. And so all these guys need to be checked for that to work properly. As a side note, this is also where you can go and you can click on Edit to edit any credit cards of yours that have been saved. This is a really handy and secure feature for inserting credit card information at the time of making a purchase. You will, however, need to know the CVV or the little funny security code on the back of the card. On American Express cards, it's on the front of the card and it's 4 digits. On Visa and everybody else on the back, and with only 3 digits. So you will need to know those by heart for all of your cards, but Apple will fill out everything else. It will fill out the entire credit card number, and it'll also fill out the expiration date. Now, our keychain passwords are going to be found right here under this little key icon. And since this is sensitive information, Apple isn't just going to let us in. Now, on my Mac that I'm working on today, I do have Touch ID as an option. So my new little laptop has a Touch ID button on the top right of my keyboard. If it didn't, then I would have to put in the password. Now, the password that's required here is the password to get into my Mac itself. And so I'm going to punch that in or tap on the Touch ID to get in. And sure enough, there it goes. So I've got a pretty long list of all of the passwords that I've been saving in my keychain. Now, we've talked before about this. I have a password for Hertz Rent-A-Car that I haven't used in a long time, but I do need it today, so I'd love to know what that username and password is. So instead of me scrolling around, I'm just going to tap in the search field and type in HERT, and there it is right there. Now, if I click on that entry, it's going to reveal the username and the password itself. If I wanted to remove this entirely, then this is where I would do it. I can also double click in the password field and it's going to bring up this little card, and this is where I could change the password so that the next time I go to Hertz Rent-A-Car, it would put it there. Well, that's all I'm going to show you for this screen. If you do see, by the way, let me cancel out of this search. If you do see this little yellow icon to the right of any of your passwords, it means that you've either used that same password on other things or the password is easily guessed because it's kind of a simple one. Let's go to Hertz Rent-A-Car and see what happens when I get there. If I go to Hertz.com, now in the previous screen where we were, if I had more than one Hertz entry in that list, let me show you how that would pop up when we get to the actual site. You can see that right here, I have Jonathan Gorman 101 at Yahoo and a little fingerprint icon to the right of it. What that's telling me is that without me having to type in anything, just by way of the fact that I've put my cursor into the username field, it's going to reveal all of the Hertz usernames that I have in that list that we were just looking at a moment ago. If I had more than one entry here, some of you will get to this point and you'll see all kinds of weird entries here. The previous screen where I just was is where you're going to go and edit them and remove all the weird ones. This one we know is going to work well, so I'm going to tap on the little Touch ID, or I can put in the password, and it will let me right into the account. So that's kind of a great trick. So this is just Keychain on the Mac. And we also have talked before about Secure Notes. If I go into the Notes app on a Mac and I go to our trusty iCreative product logins note, I'm presented with the same opportunity here to use Touch ID to get securely into this note or to use my existing password. So that's pretty cool. Any note that is a secure note will show with a little lock to the right of it. And all of those guys that have the lock next to it are secure notes. So once I click on a secure note, I can tap to the right of it and click in, punch right here to punch in the password, or I can just put in my fingerprint on Touch ID and that will just let me in. Now once I'm into this note, if I wanted to lock it again, I need only tap on the lock icon to close all locked notes and it gets locked again. If I didn't do that, it will automatically lock after a few seconds of me not using it. I think about 20 or 30 seconds, and it'll just automatically lock itself back up. So that's all there is for this video. I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good morning, this is Jonathan Gorman from iCreative, and today we're going to be talking about Keychain and Secure Notes on an iOS device, meaning on an iPhone or on an iPad. Remember that the Keychain service will only work if you're using Apple's Safari built-in web browser. It will not work if you're using Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Mozilla's Firefox browsers. Those guys will save passwords, but they will just not sync across your Apple devices using Apple's built-in iCloud services. So to begin with, we're going to need to go into the settings on our iPhone. And once we're in settings at the very top, we can start to scroll down until we get to a section that says Passwords and Accounts. Now in this screen, normally you may have gone here to add new email addresses or accounts to your iPhone or your iPad, but today we're going to go to the area that's hiding at the top that has the little icon of the key. So visually, if I go back a level, this is also where you'll see that little icon to the left of the word passwords that's telling you this is a clue as to where all of the keychain passwords that you're looking for are hiding. Under website and app passwords, once I tap on that, you will be prompted either for the passcode or password to get into your iPhone, iPad, or if you have Touch ID or Face ID technologies built into your phone, you can use those as well as a way to get in. This is really cool because Apple isn't just going to let anybody that picks up your phone get a chance to see all of your usernames and passwords for all of your saved websites. So it just wants to make sure that you really are you getting in to see this sensitive data. When I tap on that, in my case, it scans my face, and sure enough, there I am, I'm in. Now this list, in my case, is 904 entries long. It's a lot of stuff. I've been using this for many, many years. It's worked flawlessly for me since 2001 when Keychain Access for the Mac was released. And I've got a couple different options in this screen. You'll see the alphabet on the right side of the screen. If I tap and hold on the alphabet and start dragging up or down, I'm keeping my finger in contact with the glass as I drag down the list, and that's allowing me to advance one letter at a time. That's pretty handy and pretty cool. I can, however, if I wanted to, tap up at the very top, and I could just do a search for something like Hertz, H-E-R-T-Z. And when I tap on that, though you cannot see the actual password because Apple, when I'm making these videos, they obscure the password so that you can't see it, but rest assured that I can see it where I am. This is where I can get in and I can actually change what the recorded password is for this particular account. I can do so just by tapping on Edit top right, and then I can punch in what the new password is if I know that it's changed since the last time this recorded one was entered. Now, the next time I go to Hertz.com, it'll give me the correct password. If I back out a level, I also have an opportunity, if I wanted to, when I'm looking at my list to just drag from the right to the left like I would on an email to wipe out any entries entirely. That's a pretty cool feature. I'm going to swipe up from the bottom. I'm going to go into the Safari web browser. I'm going to navigate to hertz.com. And I was just testing this a minute ago because I wanted to show you what it would be like if you actually navigate to this website. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to hertz.com. And this is what you would be presented with. You'd be presented with their site. I'm going to tap top left, and I'm going to navigate to log in and sign up. Now, when you get to this screen, whether it's Hertz or Amazon or your email address, whatever it might be, the moment that I tap in the area where it says my username, this is where Keychain really comes to life for you. You'll notice down in the bottom of the screen above my keyboard, it says password for this website, Jonathan at Yahoo. And to the right of that, it also has the little key. The key will show me everything else that's in my keychain, the big long list of passwords that I was just showing you a moment ago. But the best part about this is that right now, all I need to do is tap on my email address, and it not only scans my face to make sure that it's me, but it puts in the username, and you'll also see all the black dots where the password goes. I can even click on remember my member number on this browser, and that makes it even easier for me the next time I come. And then I would just tap on login, and it would let me into the website. So again, where you see my email address, sometimes if you tap there, it might give you more than one option, and that's because you've got more than one recorded in the list of your keychain passwords. If I wanted to edit that, again, I just go back to my setting, go to web and app passwords, website and app passwords, sorry, and at that point I can just jump in and start deleting any entries that do not work at all. So Keychain is a really powerful way for you to record passwords as you cruise through life, only if you're using the Safari web browser. This feature I've been using for years, and I've had great success with it. It is all very secure as you do these things from one Apple device to the next. So that's very important for us. And so next I'd like to talk about Secure Notes, which is kind of the other side of the password solution for all of us. If you are cruising through life in Safari, you're usually navigating to a website like Netflix.com or Amazon.com. You'll put in your username and your password because, of course, every website that has anything to do with purchasing things requires you to have a username and a password. But what about all those other times when I have sensitive information, like maybe a loved one's social security number, the bike lock combination, maybe you've got a 4-digit code that you use to get into your garage? Well, having a place to securely put information is a really, really handy thing. So we're going to use the Secure Notes feature in Apple's yellow and white Notes app to accomplish this. So the first thing I'll need to do is go into my settings. And once I'm in settings, if I start from the very, very top and start scrolling down, what I'm looking for is the Notes settings, which I can see by tapping where it says Notes. Now, everything I'm about to show you in the Notes, the Secure Notes feature, will only work with notes that are saved to your iCloud account. So if you have AOL or Gmail notes, this will not work. I'm going to tap where it then says Password. And I've already put a password in, and I've also selected, yes, please use Face ID so that I don't have to put in the password every time. The password that I would recommend for this is either the passcode that you use to get into your device or your actual iCloud password. So once this is set up, you now have everything that you need to be able to create a secure note in Notes. So now let's go into the Notes feature, the Notes application, and just to have a quick look at this feature. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new note. And so I'm going to tap on the bottom right, and we're going to make one that's called iCreative, recipes. It's our sneaky little way of trying to throw the bad guys off the scent. And I'm going to put Amazon as the company name, and then UN for username. And then I'm going to put PW for my password. I love ice cream 123. Now, another quick note while I've got your attention on this one screen. If I tap where it says Amazon, I may want to make the name of this particular password in bold so that it's easy for me to read as I scroll through a long list of passwords. To do that, I tap anywhere on the line, I put my cursor anywhere on the line where the Amazon is, and then I'm going to tap on the small a, big A, and I'm going to change that to subheading. And now you can see it's nice and bold. I'm going to click on the X and that little mini window to close that out. And then I'm going to hit return on the keyboard so there's also a space between Amazon and that username and password. And I'm going to go through this list. I'm going to put in my Netflix, all my email address passwords, anything else that you might find of value into this particular note. And this is also a great place for you to jot down bike lock combinations or Social Security or maybe a loved one's username and password for their united.com for travel. So when you're booking travel as a family, you can make sure that they get their miles, et cetera, et cetera. When I'm done, I'm just going to tap on done because I am done editing this guy. And when I'm after I've done that, I'm going to tap on the share button. And this is where I have the opportunity to lock this note. And the first time I do it, it's going to, of course, ask me for my Face ID, and it just simply locks the note right away. And now you can see I've got a little tiny unlocked lock icon at the top of the screen. I can go through and create more and more entries and whatever else I want to put into this note. And when I'm done, I'm just going to tap on the lock note option. Now I'm going to go back one level, and you'll also notice that in the list of all of my notes, this particular one has a big lock next to it. So to get into it, I tap on it. It says View Note. Of course, it's not just going to reveal the contents of this note yet. And so to unlock it, I'm going to tap on the yellow where it says View Note, and it's going to scan my face and let me write in. It's a really powerful feature, and it allows you to jot down anything that might even be remotely sensitive and put it into a secure place. If I don't deliberately click on that lock button, it will lock automatically after a short amount of time. So if you do forget and you navigate to a different app on your phone, not to worry, it's going to automatically lock. So that's all there is to this feature. I hope you find great value here, and I encourage you to feel confident that these technologies are secure because they are. Thanks so much and have a great day.